they will have 2 interviews with us in Pembroke, one which I lead and one which Ariel leads. And in those interviews, we'll do a whole series of different things with people. So we might get them to talk about the A-levels that they're currently doing and why they find them interesting. Or for mine, we usually give people what we call a précis passage, where we give them half an hour in a room quietly to themselves before the interview with a passage that they've never seen before. And then the first thing we do in the interview is to talk them through that passage, see if they've understood it, maybe ask them some questions about it and so on. And then we ask them also in the interviews a series of reasoning sort of scenarios. So we never require anybody to know anything about law at all, and most people have done no law at all before they come to interview. But we just say, you know, if you were in charge of an island, would you have a rule that allowed people to do this? And if they say yes, we say, well, why is that? And then we might change the facts slightly and say, well, would your rule also allow this? And they might say, well, no, actually, no, it wouldn't. And we say, well, what's the difference between those 2 scenarios? My scenarios tend to be a little bit more about logical reasoning, so I might ask them a series of facts and say, you know, do you think we should call that a crime? And if so, do you think it's different from another scenario? And would you draw a distinction, or would you say they both fell under the same heading, and this kind of thing? So what we're trying to do is see whether people can understand maybe the policy ramifications of having a particular rule that does a particular thing, maybe seeing whether people can draw sort of fine, careful distinctions between scenarios that are quite similar but actually are subtly different, and can they see that subtle difference and that kind of thing. So the interview then plays quite a strong role. We do at that stage still take into account people's academic record, but the interview is obviously really important to us in choosing who are the people that we think are going to make the best use of the places, and those are the people that we then choose to admit.